Welcome, everyone. I'm Julietta. I'm the co-founder of Sproutable. I am a positive discipline trainer. I'm a school psychologist and a school counselor. And through Sproutable, we help parents grow remarkable kids through classes, coaching, and video content. And I'm also a mom of three. I have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And I'm currently home solo as well. So you might even hear them downstairs. But I am really passionate about this kind of a conversation that we're going to have just over the next 12 minutes or so, just about how to really empower kids to really feel like they have some confidence. And going back to camp, I know last year has been a really strange year, and sometimes kids just have that temperament, and it's really hard to try new things. Sometimes it just is really environmental, and so I just kind of wanted to deconstruct what anxiety is, and then a couple of coping skills to help. So I'll just dive right in. One thing that I want to talk about is just the difference between fear versus anxiety. And so fear is a healthy safeguard. It's natural. Our brain is wired to be on alert. It's wired to have a radar. Dr. Siegel has a model called the brain in the palm of the hand. That's a nice model to teach our kids. And this is a good tool to use as well. So to teach your kids that our brain is integrated like this, when we're able to have our rational brain, we've got our prefrontal cortex online. We can make choices. We feel comfortable. We feel safe. We can use executive functioning skills like planning or organizing or setting goals. But when we feel afraid, or when we are, have a stimulus that either just kind of sets us off, then the amygdala, which is part of that limbic system, it's attached to that emotional epicenter. The amygdala says, like, you're on alert. Use those functions, those fight or flight responses, in order to access those physiological responses that help us in that moment. So what can happen is that everybody's radar is different. And so a lot of times for little kids, right, the stranger danger or just being separated from a parent is enough for their radar to flip their lid. If they're starting something totally new at camp, that might be enough to flip their lid. But understanding that healthy amount of fear is great. That's just our natural safeguard, and it's adaptive within the stimulus. Where it turns into anxiety is when it automatically exaggerates those risks and underestimates their ability to cope with a given situation to the extent that it interferes with their functioning. So just knowing that is really that extreme. But most kids, it's going to be natural for them to feel nervous. It's going to be natural for them to have a little bit of fear about starting something new, trying a new situation. And I love this idea. I just heard this quote by Dr. Judd, which is that when we have fear plus uncertainty, that also leads to anxiety. And so I think that really exemplifies the last year that we've had through COVID, just collectively, is that there has been such uncertainty. And so when we as a parent, think about their camp experience, we can take a lot of that uncertainty away just by practicing ahead of time. So the coping skills that I would recommend is definitely doing that practice and giving them as much control as possible. So these are things like, either maybe helping them choose what camp, right? Their own interests. If this has to be the camp that that they're going to do no matter what, maybe they're having some control and autonomy over which route we're going to go to, or whether they want to do the AM or the PM slot, or what they're going to do after camp, or what they're going to do the week after, finding some ways where they can have some control within it, understanding sometimes they can't with certain decisions and sometimes they can. So really personalizing that for your family, but really thinking about how much autonomy can we give them, again, so that they can feel some sense of control. Things like packing their backpack, having a special ritual. Maybe it's like swinging through a Starbucks drive-through on the way, out, or maybe it's on the way back that you always stop at your special park and have, say hi to the ducks or kick a soccer ball around or something. So thinking about what some things that they can have sort of some control and also some ritual, but really practicing what that looks like. Practice what your goodbye is going to look like. Practice your special high five or goodbye. I love that Michael Brandwein actually mentioned that. I talk about this a lot. To give kids that sense of connection, having that special handshake or that special song you listen to, or maybe an audio book that you listen to on the way, just some sort of that ritual to have a goodbye that feels predictable and feel safe. So I also really, really believe in the power of role play. From 12, 9, and 3 are my ages. And it doesn't matter, even within those ages, we still do a ton of role play. So I'll pretend to be my child, they'll pretend to be the parent, and then really having that role play experience to play out what happens when, right? What happens when I'm super scared, or I don't know how to meet somebody, or I don't know anybody. Let's role play that out. You can get your stuffies out, you can get characters. My 9-year-old is super into Star Wars. And so we get out her little, like all of her Star Wars Lego characters and things and can role play with that. But that kind of story or narrating or storytelling is really powerful for kids. So have them tell the story of their best camp experience ever, even before they've even gone, or tell them the story of the time where they got stuck and they didn't know what to do and how they went and asked the grown-up for help, or how they introduced themselves to a new kiddo. So have those kinds of wonders and what ifs and really drop into curiosity. I love the quote also from John Stevens that curiosity conquers fear. In that way, being able to really get curious with them, like, what do you think it's going to be like, or what is your biggest worry? So when we really name the worry in that way, then it decreases the power from it. Adults obviously play a really powerful role in this, in setting our kids up for success. So the more confident that you are, the more that you bring your own experience of saying, I remember when I was really nervous going to this one camp or this one school or this one experience, and this is how I got through it. These are the strategies that I used. And then really teaching. So as a positive discipline trainer, discipline means to teach. And so we've got to also teach our kids really healthy coping skills. And breathing is paramount. I have to say, I know it sounds super cheesy and obvious, but really teaching our kids deep breathing strategies and really incorporating those as part of your daily routine. So some of the mindfulness strategies that we use are counting. So breathing in for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 6. And then for all of these ages as well, we have a Star Wars breath, a lion breath, coming up with, again, those personalized breaths for your kids that we say, okay, I'll say, show me the Leona breath. And she'll like make her really, my 3-year-old, she'll make a really big, lion, roll big arms, and then big exhale. But breathing is so important neurologically. We have tons of research and neuroscience to back how pivotal it is for the breath to engage that amygdala and reset our brain back to that rational brain, back to that grounding place, in order to then to really challenge the negativity that comes up, the irrationality that comes up, to be like, I'm actually totally safe here. This is going to be super fun and I'm fine. So really using the breath and some of those mindfulness strategies to ground yourself in order to really realize and assess what is the situation here. And then that idea of really validating, like, yes, you're scared and you can do this. Yes, this feels hard and you are totally capable. Oftentimes I say, like, as your parent, I would never put you in a situation that would be dangerous for you. Like, you've got this, it is okay to do these hard things, and it's growing your brain, and I believe in you. So that validation is really important when we name their feelings, when we say you're scared, or feels nervous, or this feels hard for you, or you feel like you might be lonely. Naming those feelings sends that message to the amygdala that I'm safe, and allows their prefrontal cortex to reintegrate as well. Yeah. So thanks, everyone. Please come find us at Sproutable. We have private coaching. We have fantastic free videos. We help all parents with all kinds of behavioral challenges. We have a self-paced introduction to positive discipline. We also have a whole robust How to Grow Remarkable Kids self-paced course as well. We have live classes on Zoom. We have workshops. We have a nanny certification. We have a free newsletter that you can sign up for and get free tips each week for how to bring out these kinds of amazing qualities and characteristics and grow remarkable kids. So thank you so much for tuning in if you're watching this later, and have a wonderful summer, everyone. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, take care. Bye.
Real moments are learning moments.